Hey, what's going on, everybody? That's right, the Boxing Source Chicken in here, and I got another special guest with me. Of course, he's coming off a big weekend that happened over in Saturday in Las Vegas, MGM Grand Garden Arena. He had one of his sons there score a big win, David Benavidez over Caleb Plant. That's right, the well-known trainer here, and that is Jose Benavidez Sr. How you doing?
Thank you so much for the introduction, man. I'm super happy, super excited, super proud of David's performance. And we're here, man, ready to work harder and keep giving you guys good fights.
Yeah, I know that you've been working hard. Not just before the fight, but after the fight. You got the Camp Benavidez, Team Benavidez there, and like how are things going in camp as far as like coming after what happened over in Las Vegas?
Yeah, we're back working. Like I said, we know that the fights are gonna get harder. So it's gonna get more complicated. So we just gotta stay focused, disciplined, and keep working hard. Um, David's taking like about a week off, 2 weeks off, and come back and train. In the meantime, this is what I love doing. So I have Diego Pacheco fighting next week in California on the undercard of Fundora, and I'm back, man. I'm back with my other kids too, my amateurs and everybody, man. At the end of the day, everybody thought I was gonna take a vacation. This is a vacation for me. This is what I love doing, man. And to be honest with you, they gotta drag me out of here. And this time there's no vacation.
Yeah, I know that you love training and you know that it's been a big part of your life here. And like you said, you got Diego Pacheco coming up in a fight that should be scheduled on April 8th in Carson, California. So that's going to be another big one for you to get prepared for. But going back to that main event last Saturday there against Caleb Plant, David was able to get that unanimous decision victory there in a big fight for the interim WBC super middleweight belt. What did you take over the course of those 12 rounds that you saw there, on David's fight against Caleb Plant?
Yeah, we had a great plan. We've been working very detailing everything. I've been studying Caleb Plant for almost 5 years, man. We had this rivalry for almost 5 years. Thank God it's done. We're good. We knew, and I always said it in my interviews, Caleb Plant's a good fighter, man. He has a lot of good footwork, very intelligent, very slick, and he maintains. He's very dedicated, very disciplined. So I knew 3, 4 rounds we had to give away. We had to give away in order to to get to our game plan. We had to get him tired. We had to hit the body a little bit, and we knew he was gonna get tired, and like in about 5 rounds. So, and that's exactly what happened. When we came in, David, was kind of throwing like big hooks, big punches, so he could get scared a little bit, and Caleb Plant can panic a little bit and start
Mm-hmm.
throwing his combinations or start moving and without him knowing, wasting energy, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, and I know that leading into the fight, this was one of the more anticipated bouts in boxing. Like you said, it was pretty much like a grudge match, 5 years building up for this particular fight. But all the talk that was going on leading into the fight, did that kind of like get David to be motivated to perform at another level, or did you just say, you know what, this is the David Benavidez that people should know about that has been within him all this time?
Yeah, of course. You only seen one part of David Benavidez. David's a monster. That's what they call him, the Mexican monster. He comes forward. He likes to throw a lot of punches. He likes to hurt people. And in this fight, I know it's going to be a little bit different. In this fight, I told people that you guys were going to see a different David. A lot of people say that David's flat-footed, no defense, and people were saying that Caleb Plant was going to make him look like an amateur. I knew in my heart, he's been training since he was 2 years old, man. He's super dedicated, very focused, and thank God that everything that happened to him, it was a blessing in disguise, because he did mature a lot. He knows what he wants, and he's super dedicated. Now with my grandson, he's even more motivated. So Caleb Plan woke up the monster on him also for this kind of style fight. This was a difficult a fight for us because Caleb Plan's really fast, man. He was really fast. He's very talented, but we knew we had to stick to the plan in order to hurt him and put him away. Unfortunately, we didn't get the knockout, but I think I'm pretty satisfied with what David did, and I think he did very well. He hurt him a couple of times.
Yeah.
We were fighting two people that night. We were fighting the referee, and we were fighting Caleb Plant also.
Yeah, a number of people were talking about that with Kenny Bayless or whatnot, and that was kind of like a real struggle, especially when they were in a clinch and stuff like that. Like he kind of like said for things to be broken up really really quickly, so it didn't give the ability for David Benavidez to work there a little bit. And I think, over the course of that fight, I saw a level of patience there within David Benavidez because you had, what was going on with Caleb Plant and, stuff with Kenny Bayless that, he said, you know what, I'm going to stay patient. What I'm working on, I'm going to get it sooner or later. And then around that seventh or eighth round, that's when you've seen, things really turn in favor of David Benavidez. And he just took over from that particular point.
Yeah, I tell you something. Once you start seeing David smiling, you're in trouble. You're in trouble because that's the sign of now I'm coming, you know, and that's what he did. I think Bailey tried to protect Caleb Plant a lot of times, but at the end of the day, I think he made a mistake. Instead of protecting him, I think Caleb Plant had a lot of punishment, and the corner wasn't stop it. Also, I think they should have stopped it like in the 11, maybe 10, and but they decided not to, and he ended up in the hospital. Thank God he's doing well. He's okay, but there was no need for that, and thank God, he's doing well.
Yeah, I know that during the fight it did say in this corner that they were, having thoughts about stopping it, but it did continue there. And it did end up going to 12 rounds. But your corner there scored a great victory there, like I said, defended that interim WBC title. And now it's about, what's next for David Benavidez. I know that there were some comments from, the undisputed champion there at super middleweight Canelo Alvarez saying that he will welcome the challenge there from David Benavidez, but it's one thing for him to say it, but it's another thing for him to follow up on that. So I know that you were kind of like talking about, okay, this fight should be next for Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez. Let's go. Next after Canelo has his fight in May. But you also said, if it doesn't happen, that you might, hit up the WBC and say, hey, he hasn't made his mandatory defense. We should end up stripping him. Still follow up
Yeah,
on.
you know what? To be honest with you, man, I'm super happy where we at.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our job is just to train, get ready, and be ready for any opportunity in life. There's so many opportunities in life. You never know what's gonna happen. So our main thing is stay focused, get back in the ring, the gym, and train. Uh, we're here, man. I think David proved himself to be one of the best at 168. He deserves a fight with Canelo, with Charlo, with anybody. We have a contract deal of 3 fights, and nothing set in stone. We can do whatever, but in that contract is Bubu Andrade, David Morrell, and Charlo. I don't know. Maybe somebody else will pop out a fight that will be interesting. Uh, but we're here. We're here to stay active and keep fighting, and take advantage of the opportunities. Now, if Canelo really wanted to fight, he would have said, my plan is after Ryder, fight Bebo, but if Bebo is not available, I want David Benavidez. He doesn't say that. So we're not going to sit here and wait. If it comes, it comes. If not, like I said, that would be an honor to fight Canelo Alvarez, one of the best pound for pounds in history right now. And I think he's pound for pound the best. And we're here ready to take that challenge.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, you do have a number of fighters there in the 168-pound division, and you did mention them there. With David Morrell, who has like another version of a super middleweight belt. You do have, Maul Charlo, Jamal Charlo, and Demetrius Andrade that was coming up to 168. Out of those three, is there like any one of those that you or David would look forward to fighting the most out of that?
No, the fight that we really wanted it more than Canelo was Caleb Plant. That's done. David looked well with that fight. I don't even think there should be a rematch. I mean, there's no doubt about that win. So we won fair and square. That was a big satisfaction. But that was the fight that we couldn't lose, man. We cannot lose that fight. You know, we're super focused. We've been asking for this fight for a long, long time. Now, whoever, Charlo, Morel, Boo Boo, we're even open to Bivol at 175 if he wants to. You know, that would be the revenge of Canelo Alvarez and Zurdo Ramirez. You know, this will be the third Mexican fighting, and that would be super interesting because he already beat these two Mexicans. So I think that would be a great fight with David. If we could get Beterbiev, you know, also that's another great fight. You know that we're willing to do that if they want to do it. But at this point, we're thinking more about 168.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now I know that, like you said, you have David Benavidez there at 168, and he's going to be campaigning to continue to show that he's the best up there at 168. You also had a fight there on the card with Jose Rayo Valenzuela against Chris Colbert, and that ended up in a controversial decision, man. What did you think about what was going on with that? After Rayo scored that first round knockdown.
Yeah, we knew coming into this fight that it was going to be a difficult fight. Colbert's a great fighter. He's a really, really good fighter. So they both came from a loss. So I thought, these two need this fight. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be hard, and we knew what we were coming into,
Mm-hmm.
when he got dropped, I was surprised with that hook, I was like, what happened? I was happy, of course, super happy. And he got up, and then, then I thought, you know what, this guy's going to come up. And then I believe in my mind that Rayo did enough just to win the fight. He was doing damage. He got Colbert hurt a couple of times. Even at the end of the round, he was hurt when he walked through his corner. Uh, um, I never seen Rayo get hurt. So I think, in my opinion, and everybody knows all the commentaries. You see the commentary that from Showtime, saying the same thing, that he thought that Rayo got robbed. Everybody's saying that. So I think the same thing. I think they robbed him. I think he did enough to win the fight, and I think he should have won that fight.
Yeah, I heard, a lot, coming from the commentators that they're on Showtime and whatnot, saying that, yeah, Rayo should have came out with the victory in that one. And, it kind of was crazy immediately after the fight, because Chris Colbert was talking about like, hey, I mean, if you want to run it back, we can run it back. But do you feel like he's completely, 100% in having a rematch against Rayo Valenzuela?
I'll tell you something. Colbert does not want to fade Valenzuela. There's no way. He knows that Valenzuela is too strong for him. He knows that in the next fight, Valenzuela will stop him. I think that there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, we're ready to make it happen again. We'll love to, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take it.
I feel you. I feel you. Now, going back to what you were saying, you had like a little some time off there in camp, but you got some, Pacheco there preparing for his fight coming up on April 8th. How's that particular camp going there, and how do you want to have him, kind of make a statement on April 8th as part of that card there in Carson?
Yeah, no. Pacheco's not fighting. Diego Pacheco now, his brother Federico Pacheco.
Okay.
This is going to be his third fight. Pacheco is back training. I wanted to see if I could try to put it in the Canelo card. So we're still working on it. See what happens. Hopefully he can fight there on the undercard of Canelo. His brother is fighting on the 8th on the undercard of Fundora. So
Okay.
we're super excited. We're back to work. Back to work, and we love what we do. We're super dedicated, and I keep learning, and I'm in a great position now. I feel happy from not knowing nothing of boxing, now training David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, Jose Benavidez Jr., El Rayo Valenzuela, Diego Pacheco, Daniel Blancas, Federico Pacheco. I mean, I have a good little stable of fighters that they're young, and they're coming up, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, you definitely got, a whole team out there, over in your camp, and that's great. And like you said, you pretty much, coming up from, I would say a family tree, like you learn from the likes of Abel Sanchez and Hall of Famer Freddie Roach there. Learning from like those two trainers, what is like one thing that kind of like stood out learning from them that you kind of like carry with you right now?
Yeah, you know what? I was with Freddie Roach for 4 years. After that, I went with the Diaz brothers in Coachella, California. After that, I went with Robert Garcia for like another 2 years. And then after that, I finished in Big Bear with David Sanchez for like another 3 years. It was amazing, man. Everybody's different. Everybody has different ways to talk to the fighters. So I learned a lot, and I believe that in myself, I pay too much attention to these people. So I try to adjust in every situation. I try to
Mhm.
be a little bit of Abel, a little bit of Freddie in different occasions. So I kind of just remember what they would say in a corner, or the way they give the instructions. Everybody's different, but in my mind, I think I'm all of them. And I try to adjust. And when the moment comes, I jump in and make those adjustments, and I use a different. I sometimes I use Freddie Roach, sometimes I use Abel Sanchez. Sometimes it's kind of funny,
Mm.
how I do things, because I learn from the best, and I keep learning, and I'm still learning, But everybody's a little bit different. Um, like for example, Freddie Roach is very calm, very relaxed. The Diaz brothers, they yell a lot. They push the fighters, Abel Sanchez is like quiet, and just with the eyes, he'll tell you what he wants.
Mhm.
Very disciplined. So all these guys, Robert Garcia, very relaxed too, very happy, very friendly guy. So all these guys, I thank them for that opportunity that they gave me, and I mean, I'm so happy with um, being with them, and they taught me so much that I'm very appreciative of that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, I have like five quick questions
Yeah.
here. Like you would like come up with something. It could be like a short answer or whatever it is, but I got five quick questions here for you. First one here. How many more years do you see David Benavidez competing at 168 pounds?
That's what I'm saying. Right now you've seen a lot of people are making a big deal that he can't do weight. He was 166 point something. He could easily make 167.8, point 9. Why would he go down to 166? So that tells everybody, that he's not struggling with the weight. No problem. So, like I said, we have a contract for three fights. Uh, but we could go to 175, no problem too. If we could get those fights with those people that I mentioned, it would
Mhm.
be a great fight. It would be very interesting. Uh, so we're open. We're open to test our abilities and see where we at.
Cool. Next one is three fighters that you idolize or like the most in boxing.
Right now, my first one I would say David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. The second one will be there's so many, man. And I'm sorry, but I just out of my head real quick.
Yeah.
One of them I would say Javante Davis, um, David Haney. Those are the three. But I know there's some more that deserve that recognition. But like Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, and other. But it's just so hard for me. These guys are all the way in the top. They're good fighters. They're pretty much right there. So it's hard for me to say a name, but I try.
Gotcha.
For you, I try to do that.
Gotcha. No problem. Well, that might make this next question even harder because it's top five pound for pound fighters right now.
You know what? Even though they don't consider, I'm gonna go back with the Mexican monster. He's For me, he will always be top per pound, the best at 168. Then I'm gonna go with Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, and David Haney because he has all the belts, and Lomachenko and shoot, Tank Davis, So
Hey, there you go. That was pretty much like a bonus. That was like six right there, right?
yeah.
All right. if there was one fighter in history that you wanted to be in the corner of, who would that be?
It would have to be Julio Cesar Chavez and maybe Mike Tyson.
Good one, good one. And this one, I know this one is going to be an easy question. Is David Benavidez the next Mexican superstar?
In my eyes, I believe so. I believe so much in my heart that he's the new face of boxing.
Gotcha. Great, great. Now, there's one last question here. It kind of like goes into your history of, becoming a trainer. And I noticed you said like this in the past of how thankful that you've been to, kind of like get to this point, being as a trainer and getting into the boxing game. Like how is it to, kind of like go from, your beginnings there and then to get to this point to be one of the featured trainers in the sport of boxing?
It's a dream come true, man. A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of tears, man, and a lot of big sacrifices I had to make in order for me to be here. I don't know if I would do it again because it's not easy, man. It's not easy, but man, we did it. We're here. I'm super thankful. I'm super blessed, and I'm happy. I could die tomorrow and be happy, man, of what I've done so far in boxing.
Gotcha, gotcha. And like you said, I mean, there's still, the work's still out there for you to do. There's still things to, for you to accomplish there as a trainer. And like you said, you're pretty much gonna be right back into work there in the gym. So I'm gonna leave you to that. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me here at the Boxing Source. And we're definitely gonna be, hearing more from you and more from the fighters coming from your camp.
Thank you. I want to thank all your fans, all the fans also that support us. Thank you so much, man. We're going to continue working hard to give you guys good fights. Thank you.